Remember that one story he told? He says, look, Diddy used to put these parties together with $1 million, and he says, I'm going to put $1 million party. I'm like, Diddy, I'm going to do a party with $45.
Clive Davis passed away at 94, and somehow Jamie Foxx quickly became one of the names people started pulling into the conversation. That alone says a lot about how this industry works. The moment one longtime power player is gone, the stories people once ignored or refused to discuss suddenly become much louder.
We are finally hearing from Oscar and Grammy winner Jamie Foxx after his mysterious health scare, saying he has been to hell.
Jamie Foxx being pulled into this situation doesn't feel as random as some people want to believe, and I want to say that right away. I don't think this is only about Jamie. I think Jamie is simply the convenient, famous name sitting in the middle of a much bigger machine. A machine built on powerful record executives, private parties, favors, alleged tapes, gatekeeping, and influential men who smiled in public while rumors spread behind closed doors. Look, Clive Davis wasn't just another executive with a nice office and a wall full of awards. He was one of the biggest power players in the music business. Whitney Houston, Bruce Springsteen, Alicia Keys, Aretha Franklin, Santana, the Notorious B.I.G., and Diddy. His influence was everywhere. So when people act like Clive was simply a sweet old hitmaker who loved music, I don't buy it. He was a power center. Artists needed him. Labels respected and feared him. Careers moved when he said yes and stalled when he said no. Jamie Foxx wasn't just a comedian or the charming face at award shows. He spent years around the music industry, Hollywood circles, Diddy's network, and exclusive private parties.
Well, at the Beverly Hills Hotel, I'm filming this, and it's a pool party that is ridiculous, man.
Now, the simple version goes like this. Clive passed away, people started talking. Old blind items resurfaced. Jamie got dragged into it because the internet never hits the brakes. Fine, that's the easy version. I don't completely buy it. I think Jamie's name keeps coming up because he was connected to too many circles. Comedy, film, music, Diddy, Clive, Katie Holmes, old Hollywood, new Hollywood, exclusive parties, and industry friendships that always raise questions. That's where I get frustrated. Whenever these rumors resurface, people say it's just gossip. I don't think it's that simple. People question the official story because the industry has given them reasons to. We watched Diddy go from music mogul to fighting a federal criminal case as his empire unraveled in public. Brands distanced themselves, longtime associates went quiet, and legal battles took over. So don't automatically dismiss every old rumor. In July 2025, Diddy was convicted on 2 counts related to transportation for prostitution, but was acquitted of the racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking charges. His supporters continue pointing to those acquittals because they're the strongest part of his defense narrative.
Put it past somebody like Diddy, who we know the track record from his allegedly having people shot, baby oil that had freaking drugs in it, to all the crazy stuff that's going on. This is the least of my thing. If you have a beef with somebody and then poisoning them, I believe.
I wouldn't put anything past someone like Diddy, considering the allegations and criminal case that have surrounded him. Compared to everything that's been reported, this doesn't seem impossible to some people. Then, in October 2025, he was sentenced to 50 months in prison, fined, and ordered to serve supervised release afterward. He is now at Fort Dix in New Jersey, appealing both his conviction and sentence. His legal team argues the judge relied on conduct the jury did not convict him of. That's the legal argument, but in the public's mind, it comes across very differently. Once Diddy's case opened the door, people started asking bigger questions. Who helped him rise? Who protected him? Who gave him access to the industry's most powerful circles? That's why Clive Davis's name keeps coming back into the conversation, not as random gossip, but as one of the old guard who understood power, influence, artists, and the way the industry worked.
And I have a very special connection with artists, with music. I certainly know I had it with him.
Clive was connected to Bad Boy through the label system and was part of the industry network that helped shape Diddy's rise. So when people say Diddy learned from those who came before him, it's not a huge leap. These men didn't create the machine, they inherited it. Clive also publicly shared later in life that he had relationships with men after his second marriage ended. That revelation drew plenty of attention.
But the real issue isn't who Clive dated. That's his personal life. The bigger question is power, whether access to opportunities ever came with private expectations. That's why Jamie's name keeps coming up. Not because Jamie needed Clive to become successful. Jamie built his own career. But in the early 2000s, his music career took off. Ray transformed his image, and Unpredictable proved he was much more than just a comedian or actor.
Cannot even begin to tell you how far it took me and how it brought me back.
Then came the 2018 pre-Grammy moment with Katie Holmes. Jamie and Katie had kept their relationship private for years. They avoided the spotlight, but Clive joked on stage about Katie trying to leave before introducing Jamie. The room laughed, and the media loved it. I saw it differently. It felt more like a display of influence. Then there's Jamie's connection to Diddy. Jamie has said he used to film Diddy with a full professional camera setup, not just a phone. That detail matters because it placed him around those exclusive parties and behind-the-scenes moments. That's also why rumors exploded after Jamie's 2023 medical emergency. I'm not saying Diddy had anything to do with it. Jamie has publicly explained what happened. But after Diddy's legal troubles became public, people started connecting Jamie, the cameras, the parties, and the access in ways they hadn't before.
During the tapings of his upcoming Netflix special, what had happened was Jamie Foxx reportedly stated that he was responsible for what happened to him, and Foxx is the one who called the FBI on comb.
Jamie later revealed he suffered a severe headache in Atlanta and asked for an aspirin. Before he could take it, he collapsed. He has said he doesn't remember the next 20 days. Doctors later found a brain bleed that led to a stroke. It was a terrifying experience. He woke up in a wheelchair and had to rebuild his life, while his sister's insistence on getting further medical care may have saved him. But Jamie, being Jamie, made the story even more complicated. In his Netflix special, he mixed comedy with pain, faith, and fear. He joked that the internet claimed Puffy tried to take him out, then quickly brushed it off, saying he always left those parties early because something didn't feel right. The audience laughed, but those jokes didn't end the rumors. They kept them alive. Jamie knows how to say just enough to get the laugh without fully closing the conversation.
People said I was blind, but as you can see, the eyes are working.
I wouldn't put anything past someone like Diddy, considering the allegations and criminal case that have surrounded him. Compared to everything that's been reported, this doesn't seem impossible to some people. Then, in October 2025, he was sentenced to 50 months in prison, fined, and ordered to serve supervised release afterward. He is now at Fort Dix in New Jersey, appealing both his conviction and sentence. His legal team argues the judge relied on conduct the jury did not convict him of. That's the legal argument, but in the public's mind, it comes across very differently. Once Diddy's case opened the door, people started asking bigger questions. Who helped him rise? Who protected him? Who gave him access to the industry's most powerful circles? That's why Clive Davis's name keeps coming back into the conversation, not as random gossip, but as one of the old guard who understood power, influence, artists, and the way the industry worked.
I went through something that I thought I would never ever go through.
That's a difficult place to be. It can mean you've seen things, stayed quiet, or learned how to survive by being useful, funny, and charming. That's why Jamie's public image matters. He can win over any room, then laugh his way past uncomfortable questions. It's part of what makes him so likable and so hard to read. Then there's Clive, a man who spent decades shaping careers and controlling access. To me, that's the bigger story: power. Not private lives or old rumors, but an industry where influence, money, and opportunity often go hand in hand. Diddy became the public example because his legal case played out in front of everyone. But he came from a culture where powerful executives held enormous influence. When a system like that exists for decades, people naturally start asking questions once it begins to crack. Clive's passing has simply brought those conversations back into the spotlight.
I could be attracted to a man, while I still am very attracted to a woman.
So no, I don't think the Jamie and Clive rumor is just another blind item after Clive's passing. I think it's a symptom of something bigger. Diddy's case didn't create public distrust,
It exposed it. And fairly or not, Jamie is now part of that conversation because he was close to too many powerful circles. He was connected, careful, funny, and always knew how much to say. That's why people keep asking questions. I don't think Jamie's career is over. He's too talented and too respected. But I do think people hear his jokes differently now, revisit old interviews, and see past relationships in a new light. The same goes for Clive. His legacy is no longer beyond scrutiny, not because every rumor is true, most likely it isn't, but because people are no longer afraid to ask questions. So, what do you think? Is Jamie being unfairly dragged into this, or is the old Hollywood system finally starting to crack? Let me know in the comments.
That's what is the difference between a legendary music executive producer and then someone that just kind of, gets by. You have to be an originator. You have to be able to hear something. Again, they've talked so much about his golden ear, and that means he has to be able to, or would hear a song or would hear an artist and know exactly what to do with this artist, know what producers.
So, no, I don't think the Jamie and Clive rumor is just another blind item that resurfaced after Clive's passing. I think it's a sign of something bigger. Diddy's legal case didn't create public distrust, it strengthened it. And fairly or not, Jamie is now part of that conversation because he was connected to too many powerful circles. He always seemed to know exactly how much to say, and that's why people keep asking questions. I don't think Jamie's career is over. He's too talented for that. But I do think people hear his jokes differently now and look at old interviews and relationships with fresh eyes. The same goes for Clive. His legacy is no longer beyond question. In an industry built on carefully managed images, that's a major change. Not because every rumor is true, most likely it isn't, but because people are no longer afraid to ask the questions they once avoided.